everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I thought I would do an unboxing. Let's move the camera in a little bit. Sorry about the joking. Of the postcards 10 from Planners Anonymous. I must say, all I've done is take it out of the plastic wrap, but this is the first time I have ever had my postman deliver my box without a ding or something up with it. So that is in perfect condition. So that one I'm keeping for storage. So that's really good. Okay. I already have a few, but they've all got some sort of ding, whether it's in this side or the other side, just from being rough handled in the post. But this one is in perfect condition. It even still smells new. So that's pretty good. Okay. So let's see what's inside. So we've got our 2 pouches. See, it's even really good inside. Sorry, I always get excited about the box. Okay. So that one's not getting recycled. That one is going to get used for storage. So we will start with this smaller pouch first. I just love these pouches. I keep everything stored in them. This year's kits I've stored in here for the stickers, whereas I had these all stored in a container from last year, but I've run out of room. So this year everything's getting stored in the small pouch. So I'll take everything out, and I've always stored my papers and everything in the big pouches so that I know what I'm dealing with. Okay, now I haven't seen any of this kit. I have been busy doing other things, and I missed the reveals or any lives or anything that Sammy did to tell us what was in the kit. So I actually didn't, I have no idea what's in this kit. So you're seeing it for the first time with me. So let's start with the washi. Okay, so it's Iceland and the Aurora Lights, which that is on my bucket list to go to see the Aurora Lights. I'd actually like to go to the top of Finland. I want to go to Finland as well. So I'd like to go to the top of Finland, and you can see the Aurora Lights from there as well. And go to, I forget what the name of it is, but it's Santa's Village or something at the top of Finland. And you catch a train out of the capital of Finland and go up to Santa's Village. So that's on my bucket list, and I want to see the Aurora Lights. But there's lots of places up there I would like to go to. So because I've always lived in Australia, Christmas has always been hot and summer, or cyclones or something, or bushfires or something like that. So it's on my bucket list to go to a country where it snows for Christmas one year. And I'd love to do the rivers along in Europe there, in Germany, and do all the Christmas markets in Austria and Germany and everything. I have been to Switzerland and I have been to Germany before, but it was on a business conference, so I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see. And it was for the week that we were there, it was absolutely beautiful, so I definitely want to go back. Okay, enough talking about that. Okay, so the thin washi looks like a variegation thin roll between purple and blue. So that looks really nice. I won't open that one. I think anyone who gets the kits know that that's just usually plain with a variegated colour. This is the lights themselves. So let's open this one and have a look. Washi always comes really, really wrapped well. Sometimes it's easy to get out and sometimes it's really difficult. Okay, let's have a look. Just start this off. Okay, so that's the lights itself. So it's just the pattern of the lights. That is gorgeous. Like you could I know that's the pattern of the lights, but you could actually use that in multiple different places, like on a journal page where you're trying to get a mixed media effect. You could actually use it for that as well. So I know it's meant to look like the Northern Lights, but you could actually use that in more ways than just using it for the Northern Lights. So I actually really like that one. Okay, let's do the next one. This is kind of got like a dot. This is like a pattern washi with diamonds and things on. Look at this one. I've always wanted to get my nails done because everyone who does YouTube has pretty nails and I love looking at the nails. But the problem is I'm so messy, I get paint and ink all over myself and I just don't know how I would open me washi with long fingernails. So that's the thing that's stopping me. Do I want paint and ink up my expensive nails that I get done? Or do I not worry? I don't know. That's really cute too. I like that one. Okay. These two are my favourite rolls every time because I love this one because it's got the pictures and the foiling on it. And then usually this has got the floral. So out of all the washi, I'd say these two are my favourite. Like, yes, this one's very theme orientated. You can't, it's not as versatile as some of these ones. But I'd still say that these are my favourite ones because just look how beautiful that is. Like, it's always got the foil on it. Can you see that really good? Like, it's always got the foil on it and the little postcards with the writing on it, plus the scenes, and like it looks like it's got the Polaroids of the pictures. It's just stunning. I just love that about this kit. Like, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And I actually use these and just wrap a sample around. I actually let me show you. Okay, so this is a spare one from years ago. Okay, this is all last year. And this is, am I doing that the right way? Yes, that's all last year. And then this one is all this year. And because I have my rolls stored just behind me in my cupboard, I actually don't use these. So it's mainly so I can find the washi that I'm looking for if I'm trying to think of a design. So I go through these and say, oh, is any of these going to work? And it's actually quicker. But I was thinking, when I go in my caravan traveling, I could just take these and then I've got all the washi I need. I don't know why I've never thought of that until just then. Because I've only ever made these up to be samples so I know what washes I've got. Anyway, that's a good idea. Sorry, rambling to myself here. But isn't that pretty? It's just lots of happy in my opinion. But yes, yeah, so I just have those and every month I just add a new one on. And don't think I've only just done Planners Anonymous for the 2 years because I didn't. I took a break for a few years when I was too busy working to journal, but I basically started from scratch with when Planners Anonymous first started, and then I took a break just before this is postcards, chapters, just before the chapters started. I took a break when this first started, so I must have finished at the end of, or halfway through the end of the previous lot of themes, and then I was just too busy working to plan. And then when I had more time, I actually went back and bought all of the ones I'd missed. So I ended up catching up and I've got the whole thing now. But yeah, I just sort of had to take a break just because I was getting all these kits that I wasn't using at the time because I was just working 7 days a week and had no time to plan. That was prior to COVID and during COVID and things like that. Not a good time in my life, but anyway. Sorry, I got sidetracked again. You're not here to hear about my life, you're here to hear about Planners Anonymous stationery. So, but yes, my point was that I've been with them from the beginning. And I've actually been using a lot of the older kits recently in a lot of journal pages, and I've been posting them on Journal My Life Story and that because I've just been using a lot of older kits for a change. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow. I absolutely love florals, but do you think I can grow a flower? No. I can remember going to Target years ago, used to sell plants. I don't know if you any Aussies remember, but they used to sell have a plant section in Target. I think this was before Bunnings became a big thing. Anyway, they used to have a plant section, and I can remember checking out at the checkout one day, and I'd bought these plants, and the girl said, "Oh, these have got a warranty. If they die, you can come back and get your money back." So I just said, "I'll see you next week," because I knew I was going to kill the plants. And I did. I killed the plants. I didn't go back and get my money back because it was my fault. But I just have never forgotten the fact that I said, "Yeah, I'll see you next week." And the look on her face was, "Uh-oh, I don't think I should have told you can come back and get your money back." But no, I didn't get my money back. But I'm not good, not a green thumb at all, but I do love florals, flowers and things like that. Okay. And the little sticky notes that look like a letter, which I'm building a little collection up of these. So I do like them, but I think I'm hoping she changes it up next year just for something different, because I do have a little collection in different colours and I love them, but there's enough on there to last me for a long time. Okay, start with the stickers. Now I get both. I get the normal sticker kit, sticker lovers, and I also get the basic lovers. So I get both. So this is the basic one. I'll open both and we'll go through both. So I'll start, that's the basic one. So I'll start with the one that sticker lovers that most people get. So you get your postcard. So this is a different one to the one that came with the accessory part. So we've got two different postcards so far. And then we've got our stickers. Like, wouldn't it be great to go and stay in one of these ice houses and just sit there and look up at the lights while you're going to sleep? I think that would be absolutely wonderful. Like, can you imagine if you lived there? Like, I think that would be wonderful. I follow a lady on YouTube who lives in Stalbart or something like that. I can't think of the name of the town. I don't even know how to say it. But it possibly is in Iceland that she lives. And it's where the seed vault is. I don't know whether that's in Iceland. But anyway, she lives in a place where it's night most of the, like for 6 months of the year straight, and it's just all snow. And she lives right on the edge of the water. So when it's winter and it's frozen over and everything, it's just full of snow and everything. And she shows you how she has to go shopping and all that sort of stuff. And I just think it would be amazing. Would I want to live there 24/7, 365 in the cold? Maybe not, but just to experience it, I reckon it'd be terrific. And I'm sure it's because I've only seen snow. I'm 59 and I've seen snow once in my life, so I'm pretty sure that's why I want to see snow, because it's just so different to what I'm used to. Like, I've only ever been to the snow down near Canberra once, and that's when I saw snow, and that was before I had children, so I was in my late 20s when I did that. But I even love going camping with the winter months. That's when we like travelling and going and travelling and putting the fire on, even if, like, sometimes in our caravan it gets down to -2, -1. But we've got a diesel heater and it's lovely. I love it. But look at that view. That would be perfect. Bed and a fireplace. Winter clothes. Like where I live, we only have our fireplace on, I reckon, 4 weeks of the year maybe. The rest of the time I might have a jumper on in winter. But yeah, we probably only have it on for 4 weeks, and only ever at night, or we don't ever put it on early in the morning usually, but at night time we sometimes do. But probably only for 4 weeks. Ice caves. Love little penguins. Sorry, I keep forgetting to talk to you. I'm just too busy looking at the stickers. I actually did a page the other day with the black and white ones out of one of these sticker kits, and it looks really good. Gives a totally different effect. Moons. Oh my god, this month it's silver. Sometimes it's gold, depending on the theme, but this month's silver foil. I love this. I use that every month, and I like the stamp. And the florals, I always use them every month. And the quotes. I don't use a lot of boxes, so I do use these, but I don't use a lot of boxes. So I do use those if I need a box. And I love the full pages. That's lovely. I'll actually use that for an art journal page. I think that's a great background to start with. Actually, I don't think I've downloaded the I also got the digital kit too. I don't think I've downloaded that yet. I'll have to go and do that. I'd love to take the cruise ships that go up to Antarctica, and you can see all the glaciers and everything. That would be really good. But I get seasick, and it frightens me to go up there and get really rough seas. Because I have been, I love cruising, and I've been on a few cruises, but we had 8-metre swells one day, and I was as sick as anything. So it sort of scares you a little bit. And that was coming out of Sydney Harbour, by the way, 8-metre swells. And I was on Celebrity Edge, and there was another 2 cruise ships around at the other port with they're smaller and they can go under the harbour bridge. And Celebrity Edge was the only one that could leave the harbour that night because of the propulsion system that the boats got. It could get out the heads, whereas the other boats had to leave and stay until the next morning when the storm had passed. But yeah, we had 8-metre swells, so it wasn't long until I was sick. And you get your dates and your words. Not words, quotes or headers. And your little stamps. I like using these too. These are great if you just want to jot down a little note, like when you're journaling. If you want to jot down a little note, or like even an appointment, got the hairdresser appointment or something like that. If you want it to stand out, these are really good. So that's what I use those for. Your boxes, and then all your different quotes in your different colours. And I like how she always gives 3 colours, because sometimes I might not use all the 3 colours with this particular kit if I'm using it, but then on another layout, if I'm using blue, I know I can come back and use these on that. These are good for just ripping a corner or ripping a strip down to use. And they also, she was doing the washi for a fair while in this type of print too, which was good. So that's the stickers, and then we've got, so this is the basic kit. So this one's usually got lots more florals. So I love these. So they're more like drawn florals, not coloured in florals. So it's 2 different pages of those. And that's on clear. And then you get one on washi, one on matte paper. Then you get your border strips. So your days, your day headers. So I don't know how to get that. Oh, that was in the other kit. You'll get another set of numbers. Yeah, that was in the other one. Which you can never have too many numbers because you can use them all the time. I actually use these in my memory keeping more than in my planner. So if I want to say something about a photo as I'm talking, I use those for that. I use these quite a lot. So I've been using 1 line a day, check-in, self-care, brain dump and highlights a lot. I use memories and now occasionally too. But I tend to have been using those every day lately. So luckily I've got a heap of those. And then you've got your silver foil of your florals, which I love that page. And then just an ombre white flowers. Okay, another postcard. This time it's just your flowers. I like these as tip-ins. So I just use, for my tip-ins, I just use, I'm grabbing it out. I just use this. So if you're in Australia, just your J. Burrows invisible tape. It's just sticky tape, but it's clear once you put it on. So it holds your tip-in in, run it down the side of your tip-in. I sometimes do it on both sides, but you don't have to. One side's enough. But it doesn't cover up any of the picture on this side. And then wherever you place it on your journal page, it doesn't cover up and look like you've got sticky tape over the top because it goes invisible. Or almost invisible. So I actually like using that for tip-ins. The other thing you can do is like make a spine where you get like a strip of paper about that wide but that long, fold it into half and make like as though you're making a pocket and put a flap there. But the problem, if you put the flap there, when you flip it over, you then have the flap here. Whereas using the invisible tape, you don't affect this side. So if you wanted to write journaling on this side and you don't want anything changing the back here, you can use it. Whereas if you use those paper hinges, normally you would cover this side with something else. So if you were going to cover this side with one of the decorative papers, for example, you could use a hinge instead, and then that will work the same way. We did those stickers, we just didn't do these ones. Okay, some more florals. So that's why I like the basics kit, because you get all the extra florals, so that if you wanted to do a whole month just of Planners Anonymous for every page in your planner, you could actually stretch it out that far by having both lots of stickers, and then you wouldn't have to use another brand. I don't, because I have 6 planners going at the moment. So I probably do something daily in 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I kind of have one company in one, maybe sometimes have Planners Anonymous 3 days in a row or whatever. I just do what I feel like. I like these in sets. So any hexagons, I actually kind of tend to keep them in the sets like that. I think that looks really good. Also looks good if you run it right down the page. Have that at the top, run it right down the page in an A5 with these down. And then either put little quotes, or you could put a picture, cut the center out and put a picture in there. That looks really good too. Same as your circles, you can do heaps of things with circles. And you've got your rectangles. So I do use these, but I don't use, like I used to plan with the rectangles in the box. So like I would do a vertical, I used to do a vertical planner, and then you'd use the boxes and then box stickers in the shape of a box for your stickers. I just changed my style. I don't do that. I do it sometimes, but not as often. So I use these for different reasons. Like I would tend to layer these in a cluster and then do a little bit of a, or use them as a heading on something else. You still use them, but just in a different way. And you've got your little envelope thing. It's the only thing I don't use very often. I like it, but I haven't found a use in the style of journaling that I do to use that. But I should, because otherwise I'm just hoarding things I'm not using. So that's the stickers. Okay, big pouch time, so let's look in here. Okay, so stamps, die cuts and papers. Okay, let's look at the stamp. What have we got there? Oh, you're getting a bit of glare, so I'll take it out of the plastic. I'm going to put it in a stamp sleeve anyway, so I'll take it out of the plastic. Okay, we've got a bit of I like that one. Scenery. Hello, Iceland. This will be good in mixed media as well, because it could look like a paint splash. Like I know it's the Northern Lights look, but you could make it look like a paint splash or something like that. This looks like a knitted heart. Love that. I'll use that a lot. Oh, yay. I love those. I bought these off, I don't even know where I got these from now, because I love using these. I can't draw them for anything. I've got a template. So if I use the template with one of my pens or something, I can do like a nice gold one or something like that. So I use that, or I can use ink or something. But if it's just black I want, I've been using these. But these are smaller, and I love them. For some reason, I have been trying for ages to teach myself to draw them. And do you think I can get them to look consistent? So like you'll get one to look right, but then when you go and do the next one, it'll look different. And then you go and do the next one and it won't be consistently sided. So I can use those now. That's really cool. What's that say? Cold hams, warm heart. Very good. I like that one. I'll get a lot of use out of those stamps. Okay, then you've got your journaling cards. Okay, what have we got? She's pretty. I love her jumper and a scarf. That's lovely, isn't it? It's her name Ronnie. I love that jumper. I don't even think I own a full winter jumper, like a full knitted jumper like that anymore, because they're just too hot for where I live. So I tend to use like fleecy line sloppy joes and that sort of stuff, or that teddy bear material. That's warm too. But I used to buy heaps of knitted, and my grandmother used to make beautiful knitted jumpers and scarves and things, but it just doesn't get cold, because I grew up in Sydney, so it was a lot colder there, whereas where I live here it's not as cold. They look like a pansy, but they must be a flower from Ireland. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it doesn't say. Oh, there. No, it's talking about a hug, I think. The permission to slow down and stay a while, cozy, not as aesthetic, but as a state of being soft surroundings and softer expectations. Warmth, hugs and cozy. But I want to know what the flower is. It's sort of like a pansy, but a pansy's more darker in the middle. So it's not a pansy. It's obviously a flower from Ireland, but I don't know what it is. Cold hands, warm heart. And the volcanoes. Look at this scene. Oh my goodness, I love that. Look at the die cuts in a minute. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful scene? I could just imagine sitting there, leaning up this way, reading a book, while you're toasty warm from the fire, looking out at the cold and having a hot coffee or a hot chocolate with marshmallows or something. That is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. I know some people who are from America who have snow hate it because it gets too cold, but when it's not something you experience all the time, you would just absolutely love it. Those flowers are beautiful. Volcano. Is that, that's not origami. Origami's the, what's that called? I can't think of what that's called. Origami is not, or that's not origami, because that's when you make a bird out of paper, origami. But that has a name, I can't think what it's called. Bottle with capturing the lights in the bottle, that's cute. Same as in the jar. Candle. Love to drive one of them, that'd be so fun. And the warm bed. And I think my cat's going to come and walk under the camera. Sophie. Sophie. Go, Soph. Go away. Go away. Stamp. Oh, don't get up there. You're going to knock everything off. You're going to knock everything off. I have 5 cats and I always have a cat annoying me when I'm crafting. Yes, Soph, I can hear. My white one always wants to sit right on my book. And I move him and then he comes back and sits right on the book. Whereas at least Sophie, which is the one that just walked through, at least she sits next to me or near me, not on my book. You're coming back to say hello again, are you? You're in the way again. How are people going to see when you're in the way? Letter. Mini postcard. Hot chocolate. Lots of penguins. Stamps. Okay, so there's your die cuts. What do you do with the packet of that? I'm going to put that back in there. Okay. Okay, so you get 2 double-sided sheets. So one side's got the pattern. And then on the other side's like the wash sort of paint splotches. And then we've got a pattern of the glass in the house. So that's the top of the glass house by the look of it. Looking at the lights with a darker blue splotch. And that's the same pattern that was on the washi. And then that's like a, Soph. Then that's a grey, move your butt. grey splotch. Then the not pansy flowers. And a purple. Oh, doesn't that look good together? That looks nice. So then you get the mixed pattern. I definitely haven't downloaded my digitals because I don't have that yet. I need to go and do that. Oh, that's the vellum. Look at that. Wow, where's a white piece of paper? Where's the grey one? It might work on the back of the grey one. Wow, look at that. That looks cool. So that's the vellum. But that's stunning. That is going to look so nice in the background. And if you put some volume paste with letters over the top of that and some splotches of white to really bring out the white splotches, maybe some glitter, oh, that's going to be fun. Okay, so there's 2 of those, and then there's two of your clear acetate sheets, and you can see that it's just white it's not silver, it's white. So they're little snow drops. What does that look like on the top of there? Oh, that looks good. There you go. You don't have to put your ink on. Good thinking. Very good. So that is Planners Anonymous. Postcards 10. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry I got a little bit sidetracked looking at everything. If my talking was too slow or too long, just put me on fast forward or something just so you can see what you want to see. But it's a beautiful kit and it's going to be fun to use it all. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Thank you.